Hello and welcome to Odds on Serie A Matchday 18, last one of the year, and we still have Atalanta and Napoli winning. Actually, all the favorites won. Leo Bachanian last weekend.
How are you? Yes, absolutely. And to be honest, not only that all the favorites won, but Matchday 18 has very good games. We have Lazio, Atalanta, we have Juventus, Fiorentina, Milan, Roma. So I think we have a very good weekend, and I'm really looking forward for this Matchday 18.
Indeed, really, really good games. Last game of the year is gonna be Bologna. Verona, by the way. Well, guys, stay with us, of course, if you want to know your tips and the analysis for this last match day of Serie A in 2024. And, of course, if you like our videos, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. First game is Empoli, Genoa. Great odds actually in this game. Two teams that are doing great this season, I would say, because both are fighting against relegation. This is the goal of the season. And Empoli, especially Empoli, they are +5. Genoa +2 only. But doing a great season, I would say. Both Genoa lost to Napoli 1-2 after the draw against Milan. Empoli also lost to Atalanta, but put in a fight, Leo. They conceded only in the last 5 minutes. This game smells kind of a draw to me, to be honest.
Look, Edu, Empoli had another great game against a top team in which maybe they could not transform that good performance in points. But how many teams they can travel to Bergamo and take Atalanta, push Atalanta to the limits? Not many, really. When they ask 𝗛𝗲𝗍𝗀, Empoli's manager, before the match, his expectations for the encounter with Atalanta, and he said he wanted to see his team playing with compactness and determination, and he actually got exactly that. Because with Torino a week ago, they dominated possession, Empoli, and they created a lot of chances to score, and they didn't take them. And against Atalanta, they enjoyed only 35% possession, but they produced 3 shots on targets and 2 goals from those 3 shots on target. So they were very, very good, to be honest. Lorenzo Colombo scored first, the player on loan from Milan, his 4th goal of the season in Serie A. He has also 1 goal in Coppa Italia. They went to halftime already with Atalanta leading, but then they equalized straight away with Sebastiano Esposito, the number 9 on loan from Inter. For him, it's 5 goals this Serie A and 3 goals in the last 3 games for Sebastiano Esposito. Basically, you have Empoli leading the attacking line with 1 player from Inter and 1 player from Milan. I see that the odds, I agree with them. I see Empoli as favorites here, Edu, and the odds are quite good, to be honest, to back them. Although I understand you are pointing for the draw, but the odds on Empoli to win are good. Genoa suffered the first defeat under Patrick Vieira, but although, of course, it was against Napoli, it ended this undefeated run for Genoa of 6 matches. Probably not the best start for the new ownership in Genoa. The past week, the Ligurian side was announced that has been taken by the Romanian entrepreneur Dan Sucu, who is also the owner of the Rapid Bucharest in his country. They could not create many chances, Genoa, but they almost equalized at the end of the game. They hit the woodwork. I think the first half they were very, very, very shy. Napoli could have taken the game to bet on that first half, but the second half was a little bit more encouraging, I would say, from Patrick Vieira's side. But looking at the odds, Edu, and looking anyway at the form so far, because yes, they lost marginally against Milan, but they were very poor, Genoa in San Siro. They lost marginally against Napoli, but just in the second half, I could see positive things from them. So for me, Empoli is a team, when I look at the bottom sides, that I've been enjoying watching this season. They've done very well against Atalanta in Bergamo. So for me, it's Empoli to win 2.42.
Great season for the Tuscany team, but Laszlo is going the other way, actually. Genoa, Asian Handicap, 0. Next one, relegation 6-pointer, Parma.
Yeah.
Monza. Parma is the first team that will be saved in this point, only 1 point above Cagliari. They were smashed by Roma at the Olimpico. It's 3 consecutive defeats for them. And Monza, Leo, keep losing and losing. Bottom of the table, 5 points from salvation, and it's only 1 win this season. Looks really bad, Monza, with all the money they have.
Yes, and they cannot win at home. They continue this run of being winless at home. Monza, the last one last night with Juventus, they managed to equalize in the first half with Samuele Birindelli in a half that was actually quite entertaining to watch. Overall, Monza had 12 shots on target. On goal all game, which was just one shy from Juventus. But the second half wasn't good from Alessandro Nesta's side. Yes, they had a good goal chance opportunity with D'Ambrosio, the veteran Inter defender. They have a chance to make it 2-2 as well with Alessandro Bianco, who find only the side of the net. But other than that, it wasn't good at all from Alessandro Nesta's side. Bottom of the Serie A with only 10 points. The only win so far this season have come away with Juventus and Roma. Anyway, Monza is the team that drew the most games away from home this season. They drew 4 away from home Monza this season, descendant Juventus and Roma. They drew the draw for anyone looking at that is on 3.6, but it's not something I will be looking here. And for Parma, a thrashing defeat. You mentioned the 5th defeat in the last 7 games for them. It's not easy for Fabio Pecchia to deal with so many young players and many players injured at the moment as well. So basically, he cannot turn or look at more experienced player at this stage of the season. To give you an idea, Giovanni Leoni, the center back, he turned 18 only last week, and he was in the starting lineup against Venezia and Lazio when Parma won those games. He played some minutes in San Siro when Parma lost that game. He was in the starting lineup with Verona and then was taken off. And yesterday in the capital, he didn't even see a minute of football. But again, he's only 18, and that's the kind of problems Pecchia is facing at the moment. Look, Edu, Parma played 9 games at home so far, and 8 of them have been both teams to score. I'm taking that route, both teams to score here. Yes, 1.70.
Okay, Nagy, Laszlo, also both teams to score and draw for this one. Next one is Cagliari Inter, with Inter, of course, very reliable, many games in hand, but as we always say, we can trust this Inter. Last away game was 6-0 at the Olimpico against Lazio. Inter to win is 1.5, and Cagliari are in the relegation. Leo, they dropped to the bottom 3 after the defeat against Venezia. Lost last 3 games. It's only 1 win in the last 9, so actually 1.5 for Inter to win is not that bad.
Absolutely. I was surprised to see the starting odds on Inter that high. Actually, when I was thinking of my safe bet, I was thinking of Inter to win with those odds. But in the end, anyway, you will listen later on. I changed it, but yes, there are very good odds on Inter. For Cagliari, it was a painful defeat on the weekend because you can't digest to lose against Atalanta as they have done it the previous match day, and also with a very good performance. But with Venezia, relegation contender, the feeling is different for sure for Cagliari. Actually, it was so good what they have done against Atalanta that David and Nicola only made 1 change in the starting lineup, and only because Lubumbu was injured in his ankle. Otherwise, it was the same team that lost just marginally against Atalanta. Jerry Mina had a massive chance with the game 0-0 on a set piece that was denied by 𝐶𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐶. Just before the break, Venezia scored the 1-0, and I don't know if that's make the Cagliari to lose confidence, because at the start of the second half, they considered like 3 chances to score for Venezia. The VAR also saved them at that time. They went 2-0 down, and only when they went 2-0 down, I saw the best from Cagliari. Gianluca Lapadula came on. He had a massive chance actually to make it 2-2 at the end of the game, but again, 𝐶𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐶 was amazing. At home, they won 2 of their 3 matches so far this season, but now it's Inter, the one visiting Sardinia. Those 2 home wins have come in the last 5 home matches in front of their own fans for Cagliari, with 2 defeats and 1 draw. One of those defeats was, as I said, against Atalanta. In a game they had chances to score, and the game they drew in those 5 last games at home was that 3-3 with Milan. Inter playing at home tonight against Como. Of course, they're going to travel being the favorite, regardless of what happened with Como. Away from home, they collected 17 out of the last 21 points. Inter 5 wins in the last 5 trips in Serie A. The last one, that rushing defeat against Lazio. My take here, Edu, Inter to win and goals over 2.5, odds of 2.3.
Of course, Inter to win. Nagy is also going in this case for Asian handicap minus 1.5 for Inter. One of the best games that you mentioned at the beginning of the video is Lazio-Atalanta, top of the table. Still, Atalanta is 11 consecutive wins in Serie A after the Catellare sealed the win against Empoli, and Lazio, they were able to bounce back in Lecce after that ugly defeat 0-6 against Inter, but still very good season for Lazio, very good numbers for both teams. This is a great game, Leo.
Absolutely, one of the best games in Serie A, one of the best games in on European football. This on Matchday 18. To be honest, the following weekend is. I'm really looking forward for this Lazio Atalanta. Now, Lazio needed to recover, Edu. After Inter, they needed to do that. It didn't matter, I believe, how well they played or not against Lecce. What they needed was the 3 points. I thought it was going to be a little bit more easier for them, because Lecce was down to 10 men at the end of the first half, and Tati Castellanos scored from a penalty on added time in the first half. So I thought, okay, second half for sure, maybe they're gonna even have the chance to recover some ground on goal difference, taking into account that Lecce was with 10 men, but it did not happen. Actually, they found the winning goal only on the 87th minute with Adam Marusic. Anyway, that goal should have come earlier, because Mattia Zaccagni had few opportunities, but ultimately they needed that volley from Marusic to win the game. They are not anymore the best home team in Serie A, Lazio, after that defeat with Inter. The best home team in Serie A now is Atalanta, who enjoyed their 7th win in that condition yesterday against Empoli. They need to labor to win that game, as I said before with when we talk about Empoli. Of course, they are like suffering a little bit, I believe, with playing every 3 days in terms of like their performances, but they are still super competitive on top of Serie A, competitive in Serie A, competitive in Champions League, competitive in Coppa Italia. 11th consecutive win so far overall in Serie A for them. It's just amazing. They've done it without Martin de Roon, the captain, who was suspended. Matteo Retegui got injured after only 20 minutes, but they had the Kettelare, who scored a brace, and he's enjoying a very, very good season so far. So great game ahead, Edu. My take is goals over 2.5 here. Goals over 2.5, odds of 1.95. Which are not bad at all. Those looking for the individual markets are not ready yet, but I will be checking maybe 𝐿𝐿𝐴 to score anytime, or the Kettelare to score or to assist anytime. Otherwise, goals over 2.5 for me.
Very good odds indeed for over 2.5 goals. Also, 𝐿𝐴𝐻 is going for that second half with over 1.5 goals for Laszlo Nagy. Games on Sunday, Udinese Torino is the first one. Both teams in the middle of the table. Both teams lost last weekend. Udinese to Napoli is 1 win in the last 7. Torino to Bologna is only 1 win in the last 8. What is your take here, Leo?
Well, look, Edu, I mean, for Torino, Matchday 17 was the 5th defeat in the last 8 games. There was a moment by the end of the first half when Bologna was awarded a penalty, and Vanja Milinkovic-Savic saved it from Santiago Castro, and I thought, okay, all right, this should give them the energy to go for the game in the second half, but they were still second best to Bologna. Torino, it's easy to point to Antonio Sanabria's lack of goals this season. I spoke about him last show, but the problem is not match the Paraguayan, but not scoring, but his team is not providing goal opportunities for him. There is even a lack of crosses from Torino sometimes. I just do not understand why 𝐿𝐴ΔAMS, who scored that beautiful goal, wonder goal against Empoli the previous weekend, he was on the bench. I mean, if you do not use a player whose confidence might be like skyrocketing after scoring from halfway line, when are you going to use it? So that was strange for me. Maybe the best for Torino is that they are closing 2024 away from home. 3 of their 5 wins this season have come in that condition. The last one, as I said, against Empoli on match day 16. Their last 4 away fixture have been goals under 2.5 for them. Now come this trip against Udinese, and I cannot expect a goal feast here. Udinese playing tonight away with Fiorentina, but at home Udinese, they lost 4 of the last 6, with the caveat that 3 of those 4 defeats have been against Inter, Juventus, and Napoli. For Udinese, 4 of the last 6 at home have also been goals under 2.5, so similar path to Torino away matches lately. So my take will follow that. They do goals under 2.5, odds 1.52. Not very high odds, but something that I can see happening between Udinese and Torino.
Indeed, the draw is 3.2, 3.3, also a good option. Next one is Napoli, Venezia, and here, of course, our mind tells us back Napoli, they are the better team, they are second in the standings, but we have a history of Napoli screwing it up when they are playing at home against the small teams, Leo, and we saw Venezia this close of beating Juventus, this close of drawing against Inter. Who knows if Venezia can keep it close, and it's not a bad idea to go for Asian Handicap Plus, for instance, for Venezia in this game.
To be honest, I was tempted for that, the Asian Handicap Plus, taking into account those late matches away from Venezia against top teams, because they traveled even to San Siro earlier in the season, and it was only 1-0 for Inter, and Venezia had a disallowed goal by the VAR at the end of the game. Of course, in our minds, we still have like the 2-2 in Turin against Juventus. But to be honest, after what Antonio Conte said after the game, when he's criticizing his players, taking into account they're gonna be playing in front of their fans in the Parc de Armando Maradona, I can only see winning Napoli, taking the 3 points and finishing the year on a high. The first half from Napoli against Genoa is not. I'm not gonna say it was the first half to put in a museum and for everyone to go and see how good they were, but it was actually a good performance from Inter. Romelu Lukaku hitting the woodwork after 3 or 4 minutes only. Then they score after Samuel Gisa scored with a header after David Neres cross, and they scored the second one again with another header, in this case from Ramani. And I thought the second half was going to take the same route for Napoli, but actually it wasn't, and that's why Antonio Conte was so upset after the game, because they allowed Genoa to come back into the game to make it 1-2, and they almost make it 2-2 at the end of the game. He said that his team should be attacking more all the time, but the reality as well is like Napoli has a very thin squad. So if you ask your team to keep attacking for 95 minutes of the game and having a thin squad, then if you have 1 or 2 injuries, then it could look bleakly for Napoli. So I can understand sometimes their players not wanting to attack continuously as Conte would like them to do. 6 wins and 2 defeats for Napoli this season at home. Those defeats with Atalanta and Lazio. Venezia did the job against Cagliari on Saturday, winning a 6-pointer, but to win against Napoli is not the place where they are going to guarantee their survival anyway. Away from home, they are winless, because yes, we can point against that marginal defeat against Inter or how they have done it against Juve, but 6 defeats in 9 games away from home for Venezia. So my take, Edu, is Napoli to win 2-0 here, odds 2.05.
Juventus is next, Leo. Lazio is going for both teams to score. It pays really well, by the way. It's around 2.2, both teams to score. So it's a very good idea. 1.1, 2.1 more or less. So it's also a good idea if you think Venezia can be in the score sheet, although Napoli are one of the best teams defending this season with only 12 goals conceded. I'm talking about Juventus. Fiorentina is the next game. This is a massive rivalry. Fiorentina supporters really hate Juventus. And by the way, Leo, I wanted to comment talking about Juventus, what happened in the 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜, in this case, Cesena, with Mussolini's grandson scoring, and he went to the supporters, and all the supporters were doing the saluto romano, as they said, what is kind of the fascist greetings in the times of Mussolini, and he likes to be called Mussolini, by the way, playing for Lazio, Mussolini's grandson, but on loan now in 𝐬𝐵. Some of the image odd or strange, I would say, of the weekend in Italian football. But this is another thing, Leo. In this game, Juve-Fiorentina is a massive game with Juventus finally winning a football game in Monza after draws against Venezia, Bologna, Lecce, and Milan. Fiorentina doing a great season. It's only 2 defeats this season.
And to be honest, this one is one of the very good games as well on this match day 18. Was the second consecutive win for Juventus in all competitions. This one because they won 4-0 against Cagliari in Coppa Italia before the match day 17, and yesterday that win away to Monza. But I think it sums up very well this season for Juventus, that the last time they won 2 games in a row in all competitions, I'm not talking just Serie A, but in all competitions, 2 games in a row this season. The last time before this one against Cagliari and Monza, you had to go to the win against Genoa at the end of September, and 4 days later they traveled to Leipzig and they won 3-2 in Germany on Champions League. That was the last time before this one that they won 2 consecutive games. Juventus, I think the most important thing is that they're getting important injured players back. Nico Gonzalez scored a beautiful goal against Cagliari in Coppa Italia, a solo goal to make it 4-0, and yesterday he gave Juventus the 3 points, because when the game was 1-1 in the first half, I thought, okay, here we go, the 5th draw in a row for Juventus. But then the second half, they were okay. They did not suffer. They did not create much neither. The second half was quite boring between Monza and Juventus. But the most important thing for Juve was to win this game. Away from home for Fiorentina, who's playing tonight. They do 2 defeats in Serie A, as you said, and one was early in the season with Atalanta, and the last one with Bologna the last time around. Otherwise, 4 wins and 2 draws for them. Those 4 wins came in the last 5 away matches for Fiorentina. And Juventus at home this season, although undefeated, yes, they have 6 draws in 9 games playing at home. So that's why my take, Edu, here, I think it's quite good odds. Fiorentina, double chance, 1.89.
Indeed, David Vasiliev is going also for double chance for Fiorentina big X. For Nagy, very difficult to trust Juventus, especially with these odds. And Fiorentina, La Viola are doing a great season in all competitions so far. And another great game is Milan-Roma, with, of course, Milan also very inconsistent this season, but favorites for this game. They were able to beat Verona in the last game. They were coming from a draw against Genoa, and very important for Roma, Leo, the big wins at home against Sampdoria in Coppa Italia, against Parma, with 𝗵𝗏 in modo Star Pro Evolution Soccer, doing absolutely everything in that game. But as we know, Roma is still winless this season away from home in all competitions.
Absolutely, and that's why I think the odds on Roma are massive to win, almost hovering 4. But of course, I think they are pointing the bookies to that fact. They haven't won a single game away from home, away from the Olimpico this season. I mean, if they play by the level they shown yesterday against Parma, it's not far-fetched to think Roma to win at the Olimpico. But I personally won't go that way for this inconsistency in performances when they play away. In comparison when they play at home. Yesterday, 𝗵𝗏 scored a brace and he assisted 𝗀𝗵ci 𝗀𝗵𝗄 for the fifth one and played a very good game. It was quite strange that Ranieri did not make a single substitution, Edu. And he explained he was happy with what he was seeing. But when you have players like 𝗛𝗵𝗏 that getting injured so often and he needs sometimes to rest, it was quite strange that he didn't even take 𝗛𝗏𝗏 out of the team in the second half, especially when he also said after the game that Roma is one team with 𝗛𝗏𝗏 and one team without 𝗛𝗏𝗏. But 2 weeks ago he was criticizing 𝗛𝗏𝗏 for his lack of intensity. A little bit of mixed messaging from Ranieri, but yes, it was a very good game for all the squad. Paredes could score as well because 𝗛𝗏𝗏 led him the penalty to make it 4-0. Saelemaekers scored a very nice goal as well to make it 2-0. And Milan, they done what they needed to do, which was to win their game. They only found the deadlock with Verona in the second half, with the Reindeers, who again is the best player they have so far this season. But it was just their second win in the last 6 match days for Milan. Alex Jimenez, the Real Madrid player on loan, the left back, again doing very well, to the point where Theo Hernandez was again benched by Fonseca. And when Rafa Leao got injured after 20 minutes, Rafa Leao is not going to play against Roma. Alex Jimenez played a little bit more as an attacking midfielder on the left. So it's a player to have our eyes on, Alex Jimenez. So as I said, I wouldn't trust here, I wouldn't go 𝑋1 or 𝑋2. The consistency of Milan, Roma inconsistency on their own as well when they go away from home. Both teams to score, yes, is my take. Both teams to score 1.73.
Okay, we have David and Laszlo also pointing out of the many injuries of Milan. You mentioned Leao out, also
Yes.
Pulisic and Morata. Laszlo is pointing. So David, even if
as well.
Loftus-Cheek, even if David is a Milan supporter, he's going for a double chance for Roma, and Laszlo for Roma to score at least 1 goal to be in the score sheet. At one point, they should react away from home, but after the defeat in Como, who can trust i giallorossi when they are playing away? Well, talking about Como, the last 2 games of the year is first one Como Lecce, with both right now out of the relegation spots, which is a great success because they are both in this battle. Como, as I said, beat Roma in the last home game, and they are only suffering 1 defeat in the last 5 games, but the odds are very low, Leo, to back Como. It's only 1.8. Lecce only 1 away win this season in Venezia.
Yes, absolutely. And look, Como against the bottom teams at home so far show Edu a 1-1 draw with Monza, a 1-1 with Verona, a 3-2 win against Parma. And the good thing for them is that without even playing with Inter yet, they're going to play tonight, they're still out of the red zone. So that's one I think should give them a little bit more tranquility going into this game with Lecce, who is only 1 point above them. They're at the back of the defeat with Lazio, which they were down to 10 men, as I said before. They managed to equalize in the second half, but they could not hold onto that point at least. They nearly found the 2-2 anyway on added time when they hit the crossbar, and then Pierotti could not convert the rebound. Lecce's away form is dreadful anyway, 6 defeats and 1 win in 8 games so far, and just 2 goals scored this season away from home. However, in only 2 of those 8 away games, Lecce, we had goals over 2.5 in Lecce's games with Milan and Roma. So basically, the rest have been 1-0 defeats or a 0-0 with Torino. But for Lecce, losing away from home, it does not mean that they are getting trashed every time they travel away. And I don't see anyway Como trashing them or winning heavily. So I will be pointing for a first half draw here, Edu. First half draw, odds of 2.23.
And the last game is Bologna-Verona. Bologna really favorites, 1.6 to win. They beat Torino and Fiorentina in the last 2 games. Now they are very close to the European spots. It's 10 points of the last 12. And Verona is the opposite. Leo, 5 defeats in the last 6 games. Still out of the relegation spots, but they are going to have a tough 2025 battling against relegation.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm impressed with Bologna, Edu, and I can see here Verona doing much in this match. Bologna won 6 of the last 8, and they are 6 points away from Champions League position with 1 game in hand against Milan. It's true that the first time competing in Champions League has been a bit sour so far for them, but they should be happy in Christmas with how the season is unfolding for them. It took them time to. It took time for Vincenzo Italiano to instill their ideas and for the players to take it, but now they seem to be a team which has gathered pace. And with Torino, they missed a penalty in the first half, and in the second half they continue playing the same way, and they went for the 2-0 in the end. For Verona, a point would be amazing, of course, after the defeat with Milan was the 5th defeat in the last 6 for them, and 12 defeats overall so far. But I can't see that Verona is going to taste the first draw of the season against Bologna. So Bologna to win, odds of 1.58 is good enough for me. Bologna to win.
Okay, indeed. Bologna in good form. Verona bad team, as Laszlo is same. Bologna is in handicap -1. Davide backing Bologna and the under for this game. Well, this is the last match day in the Serie A of 2024. Remember, of course, that we have tipster competition still going on, and of course you can participate also in the new year. You can win up to €1,000 thanks to Oddspedia. You have the list of the competitions there, and of course, if of course not, if you want, you can create your own competitions thanks to Rivals, the new feature created by Oddspedia. You can see so many new competitions, public ones created by our users, but you can create your own private one and challenge your friends. Well, Leo, let's finish our last video in this year with your safe bet.
Napoli to win, 1.29, Edu.
And ACCA?
ACCA, which if it goes the way as well tonight with Inter and 𝐿𝐵𝐴, we should be good for match day 17. My ACCA for match day 18, Napoli to win, Inter to win, and Milan Roma both teams to score. Yes, this free leaves me with an ACCA of 3.3.
All right, massive tools by Oddspedia. Indeed, Davide, indeed. Well, thank you, guys. Thanks, Leo. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holidays. Happy New Year, and all the good things that we should wish to everyone. Enjoy the holidays. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.